Hey up everybody, welcome back. Well, as you'll have seen from the title of the video, this is really just a little Christmas message. So I wanted to say thank you for all the people who watch the videos, thank you for all the people who subscribe, and thank you very much for all the people who comment. I really enjoy the comments. I've actually learned something from some of them, and from what people have said, they've learnt something from the videos. I've even had one chap sent me an email. He'd done the 300 conversion on his B25, so looks as if the videos are worthwhile. Right, so what else? Well, I also said Christmas and 2019, so we're almost finished with the Note and the little Harley topper thing is just a fiddle on job as things come along. So what have we got lined up for next year? Well, you may remember, you can see behind me, the Enfield stuff that I bought, the 350 engines. Now I've always wanted an Enfield trials bike, so I've been casting around for stuff, and actually the engine was about the last thing I needed. So what we're going to do this year is build a 350 trials Enfield. Might actually build two. I won't tell you about the second one. But the first one is going to be basically the one that was sold late 50s, early 60s, the Works replica. So let me show you some of the stuff I've been gathering. Right. When I was out buying forks before, the chap I know with the breakers had 3 sets of Yamaha 650. So I bought them all, and that's what I'm going to use. I did have a pair of Enfield forks. They were the ones that came with the original Enfield Chief, which I sent off to Andreas in Germany because it'd be more use to him. And what I wanted was the forks with the wheel spindle right at the bottom, not the Enfield type, or not the type of Enfield ones that had it offset at the front. If you look at the Enfield Works bikes, I think they had this type. So, as I can't possibly make an Enfield competitive in the type of trials I have here, also got a set of yokes, 35mm, same as the XS 650. I want this to look right. So, got a frame. When the advertiser said that the Works Special was what you could buy was what the Works riders rode, they actually meant it. And this frame is the same for the singles and all the twins, so it's a relatively easy bike to build up. We've got to cut a load of brackets off and of course ditch those suspension units, but there's our frame. Now to keep it looking right, as I say, it's not going to be competitive, I didn't want to use a pair of Japanese hubs, so I've got a Tiger Cobra hub and a BSA Bantam front hook so that I could have single-sided hubs. The later bikes from Enfield actually had the alloy full-width hubs because, as I say, you bought what the Works riders rode, but they didn't really like them from what I gather because the more special bikes had some single-sided hubs and the full-width ones were a lot heavier. So we've got them. Now, don't worry if I keep disappearing, I'm still here. I had an Enfield Interceptor here, which you may have seen on my website. And it was the American TT7 Street Scrambler model, which came with a small tank. Originally it was chromed, red stripe. So I'm going to use that tank. And finally, yeah, Roy, who I got the engines off, as he delved further and tidied up more, came across a brand spanking new, never been on a bike, high level trials pipe for the Bullet engine. So there you go, that's what we're going to do for one project. Now then, always like to have a second project, so let's see how many of you recognise this. Right, it is a Henderson 4-cylinder motorcycle engine. Now I have a friend here who's part of our little group with Steam Shop Dave, and he's, well as being big into steam engines and things, he's very big on sort of 30s racing sports cars. So there was a family in upstate New York called the Colliers, very well to do, who basically started sports car racing in the States. There was 3 brothers. The first race was held on the roads on their estate, on the family estate, and they were very big with MGs. But one of the brothers built a special with a Henderson engine in it, and it went through a couple of owners and eventually turned up in Owego, which is a town just down the road and where my friend Jim lives. So he bought it, and it was in a bad way, and it was less an engine. So he took it to a chap who restores actually all sorts of things, and he's doing a really great job rebuilding the body. And Jim asked me would I like to do the engine, and maybe I foolishly said yes, but I thought that'll be interesting. So we are going to be building, or attempting to build, first of all we've got to get it stripped, a Henderson 4-cylinder motorcycle engine. Right, so let me show you something else, just a sort of little taster. You could say the beginning of the end. I started to paint on the Notaha, and don't get excited, that's just the primer, so grey primer. Okay, so there you go, end of another year. As I say, thanks for sticking with me throughout it, and I look forward to seeing you all in 2019.